What is going on, guys? It is your friend Enoch here with Ruin Freddy. Now, with all the hype surrounding the Ruin DLC for FNAF Security Breach, I decided it was a perfect time to make a Ruin Freddy sprite. Now, you might be able to tell immediately that this sprite is pretty big, and it is 64 by 64, which is in the style of Pokemon Emerald. So, I believe it is somewhat traditional that I show you my process and then the end product. Right here is the end product, a little bit censored. So I begin with this blank canvas, and let me just, here we go, turn that on. Well, actually, I choose a palette, just something to give me a few range of colors, which is not overwhelming. It's got a good variety. And I pick up my brush and I start off with this sort of horrific sketch. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, what the hell is this? This is a horror game, so it is natural that I make a horrifying creature. Now, just aside, really, this is not meant to be super high quality. It's just sort of roughing out the shapes and the posture, stuff like that. It is a little bit silly, but now we get into making the body. So the way I start is usually my normal method. I start off by just placing down blocks of color and sort of sculpting it out and giving it more definition with lines and shading. A lot of the bigger blocks of shading I usually do towards the end when I have something more fleshed out. And from here, here it is. That is quite a transition. You can see that Freddy is really coming along, but you might notice that over here I have sort of the precursors of the limbs. Now these are supposed to be closer to the foreground, closer to us and our faces. And I begin with just this, silhouette of the hand. And here you can see I like to sort of do this thing where I only use sort of, I guess you could say, two tones, one bit of color, and it sort of just differentiates the fingers without having to deal with two actual colors. And these are not exactly the same. I tweaked them while I was working with them, but I wanted to pull them out so I could show you. I kind of regret not showing you the head. It was a process, and that process was basically mapping out the space between the eyes, the top of the mouth, space for the teeth, and the top of the head. And then I began just drawing basically the essential silhouette, filling it in, and carving it out as I desire. And at this point, usually I like to throw in a background just to, make things more easy on the eyes, I think. And you might be saying, this doesn't look like Freddy. Well, now it looks like Freddy with his lovely hat, but it doesn't look like Ruin Freddy. Now, here is time for the reveal. This is the final Freddy. Let me turn off my lines for a second. So here is more easier to see without all those blue lines. This is Ruin Freddy. Basically, I copy over this guy, put him over here, give him some more dulled colors. I changed his foot posture a bit. I gave him a foot. I added some of these little details just to break out the color a bit. And here we see that I shattered him a bit. I broke his ear. Sorry, Freddy. And that's basically the process that I do. Now, I'd like to talk about some things I think I did wrong. Maybe you agree or disagree. I don't really like the shape of this hand. It looks too close when I want it to be closer to your face than his face. This hand might be a little bit small, and pretty glaringly, I think, is the posture seem to have looked more like he's standing, like about to get up, rather than dragging his body. Some ways maybe I could fix that is maybe rotating him a little bit and dipping this knee down so it's touching the floor. So that is my Ruin Freddy for the FNAF Ruin DLC. Tell me in the comments, guys, what type of Pokemon do you think Freddy would be? Or Shattered / Ruin Freddy in particular. I'm thinking possibly Steel Electric or Steel Dark. Tell me what you guys think. See you next time.